Hello, my name is Dr. Maya Byfield. My business is The Phenomenal STEMist. I'm so excited to be here in Orange County because it's where I live. I live in Apopka, Florida. And I decided to make this business because I saw a need for underrepresented students to be successful in STEM, which stands for science, technology, engineering, math. And the best way I can do that is just provide products for parents to prepare them, whether it's a book or online STEM camps or just video podcasting. My goal is to transform this community, especially those who are underrepresented. And the way to do that is to help parents understand their children's minds and basically develop them at different stages of their lives to be prepared for a successful STEM career. Thank you so much. That's why I'm here. Hey, 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 it's the phenomenal STEMist with before closes.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Cue the superhero music. Da 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 da. Let me stop.
Let's go. Let's go. Brandon told me to bring the energy. Listen, Monday's
Come
a
on.
heavy day, but it doesn't matter. Like, I'm bringing the energy for
Come
phenomenal
on.
financial
Come
freedom.
on.
Let's go. Fourth quarter living.
Yes.
Come on. What's your mantra? I can't remember. We try to like fourth quarter living. I don't know what it is.
Fourth quarter living, baby. That's it. Fourth quarter living. Get it.
Yes.
Close
Let's
out the year
go.
strong, folks. Come on.
In terms of independence, listen, I just watched Charlie Munger. I don't know you, for those of you who don't know Charlie Munger,
Write
this
that down.
is Warren Buffett's best friend and business partner for over 50 years.
Hmm.
If you know Warren Buffett, he was once the most richest man in the world until he gave all of his wealth to charity. Um, Him and Charlie Munger have been in business for a long time, and I like dynamic duos. To your point of the superheroes, so this is a dynamic duo right here of real estate. But I like to listen to wisdom. He's 99 years old. He was born in 1924.
Wow.
Yep,
Wow.
99 years old. Him and Warren are in their 90s. He's 99. Warren is 93, and
Mm.
it's crazy. Sometimes you got to listen to your elders. Definitely you gotta listen to those who have more wisdom and experience in certain things. So,
Mm,
I've always done phenomenal financial freedom by myself, but these past couple of weeks with people who have expertise in their different fields of finance and real estate and health, etc., have been amazing. And we're in round two. It's
mhm.
October, y'all.
Come on, come
How
on,
you doing, Brandon?
come on. I'm optimistic. I'm feeling amazing. There's all kinds of opportunity out there if you know where to look. And at the end of the day, what you talked about just now, wisdom. You got to lead with wisdom. Lead with that thing, and you're going to be
Yes.
all right. Lead with wisdom.
Yes, yes, yes. So we're talking about high interest rates, buyer
Hmm.
weight, how to
Hmm.
know for sure.
Hmm.
Before I
Hmm.
get into that, I want to do a little bit of homework. Remember, I need you guys to subscribe to my YouTube channel. You see it scrolling on the bottom.
Make it
And
happen.
don't forget, the book Phenomenal STEMist is available on Amazon.com as we speak. Get
Hmm.
that book to train your talking about wisdom to develop your kids from the womb to university in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
Come
All
on.
right,
Come
that's
on.
pretty much all the homework I have. Let us get into
Yes.
this
Spoiler alert.
topic.
The phenomenal STEMist book is Phenomenal. Spoiler alert. Just letting y'all know. Just letting y'all know. That's it.
Thank you, thank you, thank you,
That's
thank
my shameless plug.
you. Appreciate it, appreciate it. All right, let me ask you a question. What is interest? Like, what are interest rates? Like, help me understand what our interest rates are, and how does that
Mhm.
relate to the housing market?
Gotcha. Okay, so I'm going to give you the simplest way to describe what an interest rate is or what interest rates are. There are two kinds. You have the kind that comes directly from the Fed, and then you have mortgage interest rates, right? So the Fed interest rate is the rate at which the Fed is going to charge banks to loan money or take money from the Fed to loan out to us as a consumer for loans. Okay. So currently it's at five and change, I think 5.5% that the Fed will charge a bank for them to loan their money to them. And a
Whether it
bank
be
will turn
credit
around,
cards, whether it be credit
credit
cards,
cards,
mortgages, whatever.
all of that
Okay.
stuff. Now, I think for a car loan, it might be a little bit different. Don't
Okay.
for those that are specialists in that area, I know for the real estate side, and that is 5.5%. I do believe
Gotcha.
that's across the board. For those that know, y'all can chime in, but that's where we're at, 5.5%. Now the mortgage rate is what the industry is going to charge a consumer like you and I to get a loan. And currently that's at 7.5% or more. Anywhere between 7.5 to 8 is where we currently sit at this time.
Oh, so what I'm hearing, I'm assuming I could be wrong,
Hmm.
is the Fed, which is not the federal government, right? This is the
Hmm.
Federal Reserve,
Right. Not a
that
government, not
has
a government institution, not a government institution.
right, right, right. And they have finances that they pour into the economy. They lend money to banks. Is the lend the right word?
Lend is the right word because
They,
the
l-
five and a
yeah,
half is the interest rate.
right. So they lend money to banks, and they charge the banks 5.5% to lend them money. So in order for banks to make money by lending to me, they got to increase it a little higher so that they can make money. So
That's
that's why
right.
if the Fed is 5.5, then the banks have to say, okay, I need to make at least 2%. So I'm gonna add 7.5 to that. So the lower the Fed is, then the lower the bank would be. So
Right.
as the Fed keeps increasing their interest rates, the bank, in order to make money from us, has to keep raising theirs.
Exactly. It's not difficult. It's just like
It's not
any other
difficult math.
hustle.
It's
It's
not. It's
not.
not
Ah, I thought the M stood for money. That's what I thought. But hey,
it does. It
math
does.
some days, depending on the podcast, depending on who you got on.
Math making money. On Monday nights, it's math making money. How about
Yes,
that?
ma'am.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
ma'am.
yeah.
Yes, ma'am. But
Okay.
yeah, that's basically it. You got it. You got it.
Okay. So let me ask you, how does that relate to the housing market? And like tell me about the different types of markets that people are in.
Okay. So when we're talking about different markets as it relates to real estate, it's mainly
Mhm.
locational on the residential side.
Mhm.
And on the commercial side, it's also mainly residential, but then they have, or not residential, but locational, but they have different types of commercial. You have retail, you
Mm,
have multifamily, right? You
mm,
have industrial, you have, just a plethora of different areas, different segments
got
of
you.
commercial real estate. Whereas in residential, you really only have two. You have a house,
Hmm.
and anything between 2 to 4 units is still considered residential.
Oh, like a duplex, a
Right,
triplex is still
right.
residential.
All
Got
the
you.
way up to a fourplex. Yeah,
All the way
yeah.
up to fourplex. Oh, that's thanks for that information. I learned some I'm learning. It's only 10 minutes in, and you're teaching me a lot. Okay,
Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord.
so tell me about. the home buyer.
Okay. Okay.
So
Well,
how does interest rates relate to somebody who doesn't have a house but they want to buy a house to live in right now?
okay. So the home buyer, let me just throw some stats out there for anyone who's listening. The average home price in Florida right now as a state is somewhere around $392,000. We're in the 390s, y'all. Okay?
Wow.
In Central Florida, we're in the 370s. So as a state, we're in the 390s, and as a area, regional, Central Florida, we're in the 370s. Now, a remarkable thing that I just found out today, as of today, we have passed up New York as being number 2 now in the nation as most expensive real estate in the nation. We're still
What?
we just passed up New York as of today. Something like some ungodly amount of trillions of dollars
Listen,
that the real estate is worth
my
as a
friends
state.
my friends were talking about this I think Friday night, and uh one of them was saying, "Yeah, Miami is more than New York." And they were like, "Nah." So you're saying so Florida has bypassed New York in terms of real estate dollars.
It's official.
It's official. We bypassed them in terms of population a couple of years ago.
Oh,
So
I
we
didn't
are
know
the
that.
third, yeah, we are the third largest state. So California number
Wow.
1,
Wow.
Texas number 2, and Florida number 3 is the third largest state. We bypassed New York in population a couple of years ago. So now
Wow.
we're moving into the real estate. I wish we bypassed them in terms of income and cash. Yeah, can you increase my pay? You like the
Listen,
New York?
man. Listen, man. You know the South is always slow. We slow. We slow to
Nah.
get. We slow to catch up on these things, man. That's how it always been.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not with real estate. We're number. You said we bypassed New York.
Oh no. We listen. The value is gonna go up in this state whether we want to or not. But
Yeah.
the pay structure, anyway, that's a whole
Yeah.
nother
Yeah.
story. That's
That's
a
a
whole
whole
nother.
other story.
That's political slash
Yeah.
governmental. You know, we won't get into
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
But as it stands, that's where we're at. Number 2, California's number 1, and
Wow.
for
Wow.
the home buyer, people should know that as of this year, the average home is selling at 97.5% of asking price, which should tell you two things. Number one, it is okay to negotiate. It is
Mm-hmm.
okay to negotiate. As a matter of fact, I've negotiated a few of these deals for a lot of my homeowners or clients, and we're finding out that now sellers in this day and age are more willing to negotiate more so than they were in latter years when the real estate market was hot to trot. Um,
Mm-hmm.
that's number
Listen,
one.
listen, listen. He just said he'd negotiate for his club. Call him.
Listen,
Call
man,
him. Three zero
that's
five
what we're
three zero
here
five zero
for.
one
What kind of a
zero five.
realtor would I be if I can't negotiate the best for my clients? What? Fire me today if I can't get you a deal.
Yeah.
But in any case, that's the situation.
Mhm. 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 Wow. 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 So is it a time for people to buy a house, or you're just saying whatever it is, negotiate? That's what I'm hearing you say.
What I want to tell the homeowners that can hear my voice is this: you need to get the information. And what I've given you is information about the situation.
Yeah.
Now, whether you need to know whether or not you need to realize that you need to either continue renting, because in some areas the rent in Central Florida, now Miami's a whole different animal.
Yeah.
In
Yeah. Yeah.
Miami the rent there doesn't even make
Mhm.
sense.
It's crazy.
It doesn't make any kind of sense. In a little while they're going to just start taking gold and that's it. You can't pay in dollars no more. But up here the rent and the mortgage are actually almost in step with each other. So at this moment it's as expensive or as affordable to rent as it is to buy and get into a mortgage at this
Mm-hmm.
moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So tell me about the investor.
Okay. So the investment side is a little bit better. Yeah. So my rule is now that the interest rates are a little bit higher, don't get me started on on the mortgage insurance or mortgage insurance, not mortgage insurance, but regular insurance, homeowners insurance, windstorm, your that sort of thing. You guys have been hearing the news. Some insurance companies have left Florida, and the insurance rates have gone up. Again, in Miami, it's a whole different animal, but we're feeling it in Central Florida
I'm
as
feeling it
well.
hard. Let me do the math. I'm gonna do the math. So the math says final minus initial minus divided by initial. So I'm putting the final number in my mortgage
Mm-hmm.
minus what I was paying last year or 2 years ago,
Mm-hmm. What
and
we
I'm
dealing with?
dividing it. I'm dividing it by the initial.
Mm-hmm.
So final minus initial divided by initial equals times 100%. My mortgage has increased 33%
Ooh.
because of the home insurance.
Ooh. Now here's an important point. Now we almost got to backtrack a little bit back to home buyer, right? We got to backtrack some.
Let's backtrack. Yeah, let's talk about that. Because people don't understand. They're like, they buy a house worth 390, and then they gotta pay 7% interest rate. But then on top of
Right.
that, they gotta pay $400 a month
Right.
just on home insurance.
Right.
It's
Right. Right.
expensive.
Right. Right. Now that's something that we didn't take into account when we get these mortgages for the first time, because we get into fixed interest rates, right? If you're buying FHA, fixed means it's not changing. Your mortgage rates are going to stay the same, but everything else can change. Your
That's
taxes,
right.
your property taxes can still go up.
They have.
Your insurance can still go up,
They have.
right? So these are some of those. These are the kind of like a hard market lessons that we're learning nowadays, going forward as we continue in buying and all that other good stuff. So,
Yeah,
um,
because people get sidetracked. They're like, why they want us, that's the difference between renting and buying.
mhm,
People who are used to renting, they get a rent, even though late, like landlords just jumping. They have no rules now here in Central Florida. They could just decide to jump your mortgage $500, your
that's
rent
it.
$500. So, but I want you to understand where it's coming from. You with housing, it's literally you think, oh, I could pay $1,200 a month. You start off paying $1,200 a month, and you think because you didn't get a adjustable rate mortgage that's going to stay $1,200.
Hmm.
No, because he just said Florida became number two in terms of real estate, meaning the property
Property
values
values.
have like gone up dramatically. And we get excited about that because it increases our net worth a lot of the times, but it also increases my taxes because I
Hmm.
pay taxes as a percentage of how my house is worth. So when it was worth only this much, I was paying this much taxes. But now that it's worth this much, I'm paying a little bit more taxes. And
Hmm.
then you're going to add on to that the competition of these housing insurance dollars. It just jumped out of nowhere. So buyer, be careful. I'm not gonna say
Hmm.
beware, but be wise. Buyer,
Right.
be wise.
Be wise. Now, here's something else that I'll tell you. Most mortgage companies, mortgage brokers will tell you, get into the market anyway, right?
Hmm.
Go ahead and buy, get in there, and in a year, 2 years, 3 years, you can just refi when the mortgage rates drop. And that's a possibility. Everybody's talking about elections, this and that. I don't go by that, because the president does not control the Fed.
That's
Let me
right.
repeat, the president does not control the Fed. It doesn't matter who's in office.
Doesn't matter.
Anyway, in any
Doesn't
case,
matter. The
it
Fed
does.
is not federal government. I never forget when what's her name with the pig with the red lips. She was running Sarah Palin. Didn't even know.
Oh, oh, Doc.
I'm sorry. She's not. She's the one that said it. She said,
She said
"Which
it.
pig
She
with a
said
pig."
it.
She's a bulldog, whatever,
Right, right,
whatever she
right, right,
said.
right, 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 right.
My point is, she didn't know. She didn't even know she thought the Fed was the federal government. You know what I'm
Mhm,
saying?
mhm.
But I don't. The Fed don't seem like they're gonna be lowering rates anytime soon. I don't know. I mean, hey, we never know the future though.
If you go to the Fed website, their job, or not job, but their plan is to move it up some more by 2024. That's
That's
their
right.
plan. We've been going up for 2 whole years straight.
Yep.
So their plan is to adjust it to a place so that inflation falls to 2%. Right now we're at 3%, so it's fallen dramatically. But their plan is to raise it just a little bit more so that inflation drops to 2.
Yeah.
So that's the plan.
In 2024.
In 2024, your interest rates will go up some more. Now, when in 2024, I don't know. It could
Yeah.
be January, it could be February. They might decide to do that thing around Christmas time. 100% not sure, but it's 100% going to happen. You can go to
Yeah.
the Fed website yourselves and check it out.
Okay. 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 So talk to me about the investor because we went
Okay.
off. We were let's what are some stats for the investor?
Okay. So for the
That would be
investor,
me. That would be somebody like me who has a house already,
yeah,
um, two houses, in the context of my mother's house, right?
praise the Lord. Praise the
So
Lord.
so I have access to real estate. What if I want to invest in another investment property? Sh- how does that look? How's that looking?
Well, we just threw out a few stats already, right? We talked about insurance. According to stats, we're at 30 to 40% higher as a state on insurance on average,
Whew.
right? So
That's
that's a huge hike. We're also seeing though that prices on the commercial side, and again, we already established it depends on how many doors you have. If you're at 4 and under, you're still residential. 5 and up, you're into commercial. Overall value for commercial properties have actually dropped in the last 2 years.
mm-hmm.
So that's good news if you're into investment. Now, the thing is, it's different from real estate. If you or not real estate, but on the residential side, if you think that the payments are too high, honestly, what you really need is just more doors. That's the answer. If the rates are too high just for a duplex, then that means you have to maybe invest in a 4, a 5, where the profit margins are a little bit better, a 6 or a 7. At this point, look into it. Make sure that you know where you would like to be price wise as far as your dollar amount per month. And then you want to figure out how much you would like to make per month that makes sense to you going
Mm.
forward, right?
But what? How much are like 5 6s? Like so 5 6s are going into commercial, right?
5 6s is growing a commercial. You got it.
How much are those going for?
So it depends on where you buy.
Where it does,
Okay. So if you're buying in Orlando, it's you're gonna pay. You're gonna pay.
like
But if you were looking at a 5 6 plex, you can expect to pay north of $500,000. And five
that's
if
all.
you
I'm thinking. I don't have any understanding about real estate dollars. Only $500,000 for a 5 6
I
door.
said north. That's a
Oh,
hundred
north.
grand a door, right? So I mean, look,
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
again, it sounds low, but once again, the same rule applies. You got to make sure you know what your payments are going to be.
Yeah.
Factor in advance how much your mortgage will be, how much your taxes will be, how much your insurance will be. Get that payment in now, and then find out when you go house hunting where you want to be as far as like you find out if you get a fiveplex with a 2 bedroom 1 bathroom in it. Right now those are renting for anywhere between $1,300 to $1,600. You
Right.
add all that up, understand what your gross is,
Mm-hmm.
subtract that, get your net, find out what that is, and then you start hunting in that price range.
Price range. Got
And
you.
you'll find it. You will. And if
Because,
it's
but
not
but
enough,
I
add a
want
door.
people. I want us to think about this though. Seriously, I know people who are paying 5 6 7 hundred thousand dollars for single family
Yeah,
homes,
yeah, yeah.
and and what I'm trying to explain to us is that we may want to take that same money and invest in a 6 house property, commercial property, same money, and make it a true asset.
hmm
Because a true asset is something that makes money for you. That's a true asset.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what, Doc? That's the kind of wisdom that a lot of people are not privy to. They still
Yeah.
think that the house they're living in is the asset.
Yeah. My house is not an asset. This house right here is not an asset until I was not an asset until I made it a part of my business.
Mm.
When I created a business and I started writing off the taxes of this office that I do streaming from
Yes.
every day, right?
Yes.
Now I'm it's more of an asset than it was. And even still, it's taking money from me. It went up 30% in housing. But guess what? Because of my business, I can write part of that off,
Praise the Lord.
right? So, but truthfully, true assets make you money, don't take money. So, you know, listen, when I was thinking you were saying 6+ houses, six doors, I honestly was thinking north of 1 million. I wasn't thinking
Woo!
more than 500.
Woo! That's Miami numbers. Honestly and
Wow,
truly.
Brandon. So
Honestly and truly.
we really need to consider these things because there are a lot of people that are paying that much money for one door
Mm.
and are proud of it.
See, the thing is, when you get into the whole crux of it, right?
Mhm.
If we're going to be smart investors, if you're going to be really smart about it, if
Yeah.
I were to start my whole life over and I get back into 19, 20 years old, I wouldn't have purchased my first home at 24. I wouldn't have bought a 3 bedroom, 1 bathroom in Miami. I wouldn't have done it. I would not have done it. What I would have done is bought a fourplex.
Yes, sir. Same money.
I would have
Same
said I
money.
would have rent the three, live in the one. That's supposed to be done.
And that's why I told my brother. I
Live
know.
in
I
the
don't know. Is
one.
he watching? He's probably
Get your
watching on
tenants
the
to pay your
replay.
mortgage. Go ahead, Doc. Go ahead, Doc.
No, I was just saying. I hope my brother's watching. He's probably watching on the replay. But yes, yes. And I told him that. Like, live in one, rent the other three. That's assets.
hmm
And it's
hmm
the same money. If I'm hearing you, I'm like, wait a minute. North of $500,000, 700,000. I mean, that's people are buying that for one.
Call me, Doc. We can make it happen. Call me. Call me.
Yeah, man.
Call me. The truth about it is the numbers can go area. So let's say you go to a place like Gainesville. Prices in Gainesville aren't as high, and it is further away. I understand that, and you want to be careful too far out. Infrastructure in those areas. Why Polk City? No, inside.
You're breaking up a little bit, Aunt Brandon. You're breaking up a little bit. Up, I lost you a little. You're back.
Okay, cool. All right. I was about to say I'm about to carry this show. If you let me stop. No, but in
No,
any
you
case,
you got kicked out, not me.
oh, I got kicked out. Oh
Yeah.
man.
Go ahead.
Oh
I brought
man.
you back in.
So Polk City, which is another area in Florida, very close to Orlando, same situation. Prices aren't as high, but it's close enough to Orlando and to Disney and to all those theme parks. You can still rent those out. You can do short-term rentals. You can do Airbnb, Verbo, and all that good stuff. Make the money you're supposed to be making, but just do your research in advance. You can invest in, I wouldn't say Davenport. Davenport doesn't have multifamily like that, but Lakeland does, right? Winter Haven does. Same situation.
Wow, wow. Okay. All right. So what about the bystander? So you said the home buyer is
hmm
one type of person. Depends on your situation. You got to think about the things. Do your research.
hmm
The investor, same concept. Get your number, get your
hmm
special number. But what about the bystander? Cuz last month you were like, this is the time to be careful, So like the bystander is like, well, I don't know. What if,
Did I
you
scare
know,
him? Did I scare him, Doc? Did I scare
you
him up?
scared you scared me a little bit. So it's like, I want to, what if I want to get in when, there's a better time to get in, or, so what do you say to the bystander?
So to the bystander, I say this: if you're someone who's interested in buying real estate, not a seller. We already established that last week. If you can hold on to your asset, just hold on to it for a little while because the prices are wonky in Central Florida. I can't speak for anywhere else, but in Central Florida,
You're frozen.
wonky. Hang on to your asset for a little bit and don't sell if you don't have to.
You're back. You're back. You're back. You're back.
Okay, okay,
You're
okay,
back. You're
okay.
back. You're
I
back.
might have to switch rooms in this house, man. But in any case, so for the bystander, I say this: understand number one, what you can afford. Number two, understand what your goals are going forward. And number three, make the best decision for yourself. If you can wait on getting a house right now, I would say it's a great time to get an asset. Hold off on a liability and get an asset, right? Get that fourplex that you can finance as a residential property. Throw yourself in there and get you three tenants, right? Maybe you feel like staying at a family member's house. I understand that. The struggle is real. For those of us that don't have families and that you're still single, now is a great time to start building a portfolio. It's different for a family owner. You when you have a family, you have to get something that your 4 bedroom, your 2 4 2 5 2 5 3, whatever, so you can house your family. But if you're somebody that don't have those attachments, now is a perfect time to build a portfolio. My goodness, for the love of, please consider building your portfolio at this time, and don't let the interest rate scare you. Just add more doors to the equation.
More doors.
That's all I got to
More
say.
doors. Add more doors.
Add more
Hmm.
doors. That's the way out.
This is the time. What I'm hearing to you tonight is to focus on assets. This is the time to focus on something that will make you money rather than buying something that might be bubblish and then you're just paying a whole bunch of insurance and taxes on because it's you one living it.
Hmm.
But it depends because it might be tough to get rent that's cheaper than the mortgage. It depends on where you live and your situation. So nobody can tell anybody what to do exactly. This is what I'm hearing from you.
Hmm.
Nobody can tell anybody what to do that exactly because it depends on the situation. However, if you're thinking of buying, especially if you're single, buy more doors. Live humbly because what's going to happen is if you're going to pay all that money, you're going to be living in one small part, right? And sharing the rest.
Hmm. That's
Mm.
how you become financially free on the real estate side. When you have all the doors paying for all of your bills, there are some folks out there that just started out life just calculating what their break even point is, and they just start acquiring until their rental income, their net on the rent, equal what their expenses are. You cancel that out, what you've just created wealth for yourself. It's that simple.
All right, Brandon, I'm thinking about building a portfolio.
Come on, my. I'll tell you right now, I'll tip my hand. I got two houses in Daytona Beach right now. We just remodeled one. I got these at a, more or less a good deal. I got them at, well, we actually bought a portfolio in 2021. It was a small portfolio. It was about 7 properties. We scaled it down to four, and we got them at $80,000 a door, basically $80,000 a
Wow.
house,
Hmm.
right? We got it from a couple, very nice couple, but they were trying to move out of the business. They were older, and
Hmm.
they're trying to scale down. So we
Hmm.
caught them at just the right time. Okay. These homes we bought, they were already rented, so we could have kept them that way, but we decided to sell two of them. We kept the other two. We remodeled one, or remodeled both of them. And now the rent that we had from back then that we could ask for, we've it's tripled now. So, well, I wouldn't say triple, but I'd say it's about $400 more than when we first bought it, and
Mhm.
that's from the renovations that we did to it.
Mhm.
And the appreciation has been lovely in Daytona Beach.
Mhm.
Um, we're at 100 grand right now after our rehab loan, and then now the values on each home is at 200,000 apiece. So
Wow.
you have money, you have the
And
equity,
the appreciation.
and the appreciate. Yeah, yeah. So you can. There are areas like Daytona Beach, which I love. I love Daytona Beach. I think I'm going to stay investing there for a really long time until the prices get to a place where I just move somewhere else. Find a place like that for you. Daytona is only 45 minutes away from me. So if anything bad happens,
You
I
could
can
jump on
get
the
there
jump
within the
on.
hour. Right. I can get there within the hour. For someone who's starting out, do that. Find that thing for yourself. Find your area that you want to invest in. Find out what the prices are. Get involved. Get involved.
All right.
Do we need to
Woo.
talk after this thing,
Yeah, we
Doc?
didn't
We
talk
have
after. We didn't talk
all
after.
right,
This
all right,
has
all
been very, very enlightening.
right.
I hope it's been enlightening for you. Listen, guys, there's something about independence, and independence is not gained by a W 2.
Mm.
It
Mm,
just
mm,
isn't.
mm, 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 mm,
It just isn't. 4-quarter living, y'all.
mm,
Four.
mm, mm,
Buy, wait. How to know for sure? It depends on your situation. But what I know for sure is that independence is not created by a W 2.
mm. We'll put that somewhere. Put that
Put it on a
somewhere. Fourth
T-shirt.
quarter living. Yes. Say that one more time. Just say that one more time, Doc. Say that one more time. Independence.
Independence
Uh
is not created by a W 2.
huh.
For those of you who don't know what a W 2 is because you haven't been working yet, you're a teenager. A W 2 is basically the form that you get every year that you got to give the taxman about how much you made by working for someone.
Mm,
It's an employee document. You're an employee. Somebody's paying you. And people change, businesses change. So your independence, your financial independence cannot be just based on how much you make off of your job. It's time to build. I was talking to one of my friends yesterday, in Phenomenal STEMist, and we were talking about how you can make great money, as somebody in science, technology, engineering, and math. But most of the people who make money in these types of fields, they get it from their W 2. And most of it goes away in taxes and
mm,
bills. But the true independence comes with assets, a lot of it in terms of real estate, a
mm,
portfolio, a portfolio in real estate, a portfolio in the stock market, a portfolio in things that build wealth, things that make you money, not take
mm.
money.
Woo.
Woo.
Just give me the chills. Yes, 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 girl.
Call
Yes.
him, call him. 305 before closes at gmail.com. Listen, I trust the dude. He's a godly man, number one.
Praise the Lord.
And I'm sure he just wants independence for the people. I am the phenomenal STEMist, so is he. Good night, everybody. Thanks for watching.
God bless, folks.